back to bloom. It is widely accepted that one of history's most brilliant yet misunderstood artists, Vincent van Gogh, struggled with mental instability throughout his life. Well, this summer marks 135 years since his death, and now there is the incredible opportunity for people in Tampa Bay to immerse themselves into the art and history of Van Gogh's world. Joining me now is executive producer of Exhibition Hub, John Zoller. John, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Gail. It's great to be here talking about Van Gogh, the immersive experience from this very special angle.
And John, technology makes this truly immersive. Talk to me about what folks can expect.
Well, Van Gogh, the immersive experience really is what it says it is. It's a full immersion into the life of Vincent van Gogh. We do use an incredible technological overlay using 4K projection technology, over 40 projectors in use. But also, as you go through the experience, you first get into it like a museum experience. You mentioned the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam. It's a little bit like a museum experience where you first learn about the artist's life through text panels, small immersive theaters, but then you go into what you're looking at here on screen, the incredible 6,000 square foot immersive room where over 400 of Van Gogh's works come to life over a 35-minute period using this incredible 4K digital projection mapping technology.
And, you know, like you say, it's so interesting, I think, for anybody, students and adults alike, to step into the journey of Van Gogh. And we were seeing images of sunflowers in the video there, and it really spoke to his struggles with mental health and the sunflower representing him, because the sunflower has to look towards the sun, and that would help him through art with his own depression and mental illness.
It's so true. In the Tampa installation, we also did create an entire sunflower field that you can walk through to further develop that connection with the artist. The sunflower really became Van Gogh's symbol. It was his desire for that to be his symbol as an artist. And it really was about him connecting, finding a way to connect with joy or seek out joy, the sun representing that. In the sunflower paintings that he created, he used over 30 shades of yellow. And yellow is certainly a color that's known to instill happiness, inspire joy. And that was something he really strove for as an artist, because it was so hard for him to find within his own person.
Yeah, and you know, what's interesting is that when you see his works of art, you know, it's not like today where you can go to an art store and just buy yellow. Like, he would strive to make this color to, you know, kind of represent who he is and his struggles, and you're able to learn so much. And the same stands true when people go through your exhibit, they're really going to immerse not just into his artwork, but into his life.
That's very true. And so, you know, speaking of yellow, the pigment yellow was really just being developed at the time in a way that it could be brought into paints. And so he really did make his best efforts to use every shade he possibly could. And throughout the exhibit, you do experience his paintings, but you also get to know the artist in a way in Van Gogh, the immersive experience, that you wouldn't just by looking at one of Van Gogh's paintings. Yes, we can relate to them because the paintings are so illustrative and they're full of so much emotion, but throughout the experience, using dozens of text panels and all of these incredible opportunities, even a virtual reality experience, you get to inhabit the artist's world in a way that you otherwise wouldn't have. And through that process, you get to really empathize with the struggles he had as a person, finding that outlet through art.
Now, I have to say, you know, for many people, including myself and my family, we love to go to museums, but you've put a spin on it through your exhibits where it appeals to pretty much everybody, because this is a hands-on journey through art, and I think it'll speak to a lot of different age groups.
That is really true. I mean, we get a lot of visitors who say, I would never step foot in a museum before this time. I'm a little bit afraid to go to a museum. What if I don't know enough? And what we've done really is democratize this experience of art in a way where everyone feels welcome, but also it's a first step to then delving deeper into the art world. And art really is an important part of everyone's lives. We all find ways to express ourselves. We all respond to art in different ways, but we do respond to it. It's a great outlet. It's great for the mind. It's great for the soul. It's great for centering. And so the more people that we can create access for these artworks, the more we've done our job.
And this display is going all across the country. We're really lucky to have it right here in the Tampa Bay area. And you say it's conveniently located on Dale Mabry, so a lot of different communities, because we have a lot of sprawl here in the Tampa Bay area, can make their way to experience this.
That's right. And we have great packages for school groups. We've got great packages for seniors. We have a great educator's guide, but it is right on Dale Mabry, right by Raymond James Stadium, free parking as well, really easy to access, right in the heart of Tampa. And that was really one of our goals too, in terms of this idea of making it accessible to everyone. We wanted to put it someplace where you could get to it relatively easy given the traffic in Tampa.
Now, I know you've been doing this for many years now. Why does this speak to you on a personal level to create this kind of experience? Because you do use high tech and other museum tricks of the trade to bring it all together.
So I'm always trying to push the envelope with storytelling. What's the best way to create a new experience for the guest? And as we discovered that projection technology was accessible to us as exhibit producers, we said, let's give it a shot. And we found the right projectors, we found the right digital animation team, and we decided that Van Gogh was the perfect first artist to use for this because his work already has so much movement in it. And it's really important to me to tell this story of this particular artist. The more and more that I study him, the more I get to learn about him, the more I am being, and the more I also really appreciate what he did as an artist. He revolutionized. You know, every place we look now, we see Van Gogh's works. It's very recognizable.
Yeah.
But at the time, he was not accepted as an artist. He was outside of the academic circle. He only sold one painting in his lifetime. It's really an incredible story of someone who was a true visionary, who within about 20 years of his death was recognized as an incredible artist, but during his life did not find that success.
Well, John, thank you so much for sharing this with us and bringing some Dutch history to Tampa Bay. And we're going to share more about Tampa's Van Gogh, the Immersive Experience on Bloom Tampa Bay. And before we go to break, it's time for today's Bloom trivia question, true or false. Vincent van Gogh never achieved professional success during his entire lifetime.